Hello and welcome to How to Helen, where you learn something different every day. In this episode, we will be changing the engine air filter for this 2011 Infiniti EX35. Now, there's nothing wrong with this vehicle, but I know the future owner, he's not going to be bothering or checking the engine air filters, so I'm taking the liberty of changing it in his behalf, so they can just enjoy the vehicle. Now, for this 3.5 V6 engine, there's two engine air filters, one on the driver's side and one on the passenger side. Let's start on the driver's side. The driver's side air filter is inside an air filter housing. Now, to release the air filter housing, release the two clips holding it in place. Once released, shift the whole air filter housing towards the front of the engine and pull straight up. Then you can separate the air filter from the air filter housing. And as you can see, I recently replaced this air filter already, but I don't mind making a video to show how to replace the air filter. And in addition, we're writing down the date today, the day we replaced the air filter, so we have a reference date when we last replaced them. That way, we are not guessing in the future when we last replaced these air filters. Now there is our reference date. Next, put back the air filter inside the air filter housing. Make sure that you put your new air filter in the same orientation when you remove the old air filter. Now once the air filter is in the air filter housing, slide it back in the air filter slot, shift it towards the back of the engine, and clip back the retainer clips. Now let's do the passenger side. Passenger side, same process, unclip the retainer clips, then shift the air filter housing towards the front of the engine, and then pull straight out. Pretend to remove the old air filter. Then with the replacement air filter, write down the date today as a reference on when we last replaced the air filter. I think my pen is running out of ink, so I'm just going to rewrite this later off camera, but you get the idea. So after writing the date today, reinsert the air filter on the air filter housing. Then slide in the air filter housing in the air filter box. Then shift it towards the back of the engine and reattach the retainer clips. And now we're done. Yay! And that is how to replace the engine air filter for this 2011 Infiniti EX35. It was very easy. This has been another episode of How to Helen. My name's Jeff, and thank you for watching. Hello and welcome to How to Helen, where you learn something different every day. In this episode, we'll be changing the engine air filter. In this episode, we will be changing the engine air filter for this 2011 Infiniti EX35. Now there's nothing wrong with the car, but I know the future owner is not going to bother checking. In this episode, we will be changing. Not gonna bother checking or changing the engine air filter, so I'm gonna take the now for the 3000. Hello and welcome to How to Helen, where you learn something. In this episode, we will be changing the engine air filter for this Infiniti 2011. There's two engine air filters, one on the driver's side and one on the passenger side. One more. And that is how to... In this episode, we will be changing the engine air filter for this 2011 Infiniti EX35.